I still wake up in a cold sweat hearing that shriek cut through the airport like a knife. That's my bag. She grabbed my carry-on. A flush woman in a leopard print blazer was pointing straight at my wife, Mia, frozen mid-step with our black roller bag. Security was converging, bystanders were filming, and Mia's eyes locked on mine. Pure panic, because the bag in her hands looked exactly like ours. Or so we thought, until the scanner lit up a name that wasn't our own inside. Let me rewind 48 hours, so you can understand how this nightmare began. Mia and I were finally on our postponed honeymoon. 10 days in Greece, no kids, no work, just us. We got all out with business class, and I surprised her with a brand new Remover carry-on, matte black, rose gold accents, the exact one she'd been obsessing over on Instagram. I even splurged for custom tag, M+J forever. Check-in was seamless, TSA a breeze, boarding effortless. Everything was perfect. That's when we first laid eyes on her. Gate B14 Atlanta. She stormed the counter screaming, claiming her carry-on had vanished while she was in the restroom. Same model as ours, matte black Remover, but hers had a giant bright pink ribbon tied to the handle. She demanded the gate agent make an announcement over the PA. The whole area was staring. Mia whispered, "Poor woman," squeezing my hand. The flight touched down in Athens. Exhausted, we grabbed our luggage in the carousel. Pink ribbon Karen was nowhere in sight. We assumed she'd missed her flight or been compensated. Not our problem. Fast forward 2 days, Santorini Airport. Mia pulls a Remover out of the taxi, rolls it toward the curb, and then chaos erupts. Out of nowhere, the same leopard blazer woman, same sharp bob haircut, sprints across the drop-off lane like a sprinter. "Stop. That's mine." She stole my carry-on in Atlanta. The sidewalk froze. Mia went pale. Karen yanked the handle so hard my wife stumbled. Security. Police. Thief. 2 Greek officers arrived instantly. Karen shrieked that she'd filed a report in Atlanta, claiming the bag held her late mother's ashes and 10,000 euros. Cameras were out, bystanders whispering. Someone shouted, "World Star America." Mia tried. "That's our bag. We bought it brand new." Karen drowned her out, tears streaming, mascara running, full dramatic performance. The officers asked us to step aside for a baggage check. My heart pounded. Mia shook beside me. The Remover went through X-ray. Karen smirked, triumphant. But then the officer's frown turned to her monitor, and he called her over. The screen revealed a metal nameplate screwed inside the lid, the custom engraved type. Capital letters. Karen Elizabeth Thompson, Atlanta, Georgia. Karen's smirk vanished, mouth gaping. The officer stared at her, then the bag, then back at her. "Korea, this nameplate has your name. Why claim it was stolen?" I thought it was over. Game over. But her face darkened, twisted. She screamed that we had stolen her bag in Atlanta, swapped plates, and framed her, completely unhinged. Mia sobbed quietly, clutching my arm. I said to the officer, "Check the receipt in the side pocket. 3 weeks old. Paid with my card." He opened it. Silence. The receipt was there, but not ours. Same date as ours. Same store in Lenox Square Mall, Atlanta. Name, Karen Elizabeth Thompson. Card ending matched the one she waved like a victory flag. My stomach flipped. We had proof. Photos of me buying it, Mia unboxing on Instagram, the engraving process filmed. None mattered. Evidence screamed. My wife was traveling Europe with Karen's suitcase. Karen crossed her arms, venom dripping. "Arrest him now." The officer moved to Mia, hand on cuffs. "Madam, how explain this?" My heart froze. Our dream honeymoon just became a nightmare we might not wake from. Karen leaned close, syrupy sweet. She probably sold my real bag on the black market in Athens. Check her phone for marketplace apps. Mia's eyes widened. Her phone was dead. 0 battery. Perfect. No way. To prove anything. That's when Karen did something that still makes my skin crawl. She unzipped the Remover right there on the airport floor, like she was unveiling a Christmas gift. Clothes flew everywhere. My boxers, Mia's pajamas, our sunscreen, until she suddenly froze. She lifted a tiny velvet pouch none of us recognized. She tipped it over. A diamond tennis bracelet spilled into her palm, sparkling brutally under the fluorescent lights. At least 30 grand. Karen gasped loudly, theatrically. This was my mother's. She's been wearing stolen jewelry this whole time. Phones came out again. The crowd leaned in like they were watching a live crime show. Mia whispered, "I've never seen that in my life." But her voice cracked, sounding guilty even to me. The officer took the bracelet, held it up, and asked Karen, "You have proof this is yours?" She didn't miss a beat. She pulled out her phone, opened her photos, and zoomed into a picture of her wrist wearing the exact bracelet. Timestamp, 3 days ago. Location, Santorini. Same hotel backdrop as the one we were staying in. My stomach bottomed out. Karen turned to the growing mob. "These thieves have been stalking me. They saw me at the Atlanta gate, targeted me, swapped bags mid-flight while I slept, then followed me across islands to avoid getting caught. People actually booed us." A British guy muttered, "Scumbags," loud enough for Mia to hear. She looked seconds from collapsing. Security escorted us into a windowless interrogation room that smelled like cigarettes and regret. 2 officers, 1 translator, and Karen sitting across from us like a queen awaiting execution. They made me empty all my pockets. Nothing. Then they asked for my phone. I handed it over without thinking. Huge mistake. The officer scrolled, paused, then turned the screen toward Karen. "Explain this." It was a DM I'd sent Mia the night we landed in Athens. Me joking, "Pink ribbon ladies at the same hotel bar, OL. Wanna mess with her?" Mia had replied, "Oh no, babe, don't be evil." Totally harmless teasing. Out of context, it looked like a plot. Karen fake sobbed into a tissue. "See? They've been planning this." I tried to clarify, but the translator lagged, and Karen kept jumping in, louder each time, until the officer warned he'd separate us if I spoke again. Then came the knockout punch. Karen told him to flip over the luggage tag, the one engraved M and J forever. On the back, faint and almost invisible unless you search for it, was a second engraving. Property of K, returned to Atlanta Delta Sky Club. She claimed she'd had it done years ago. The officer checked the serial number printed inside the remover. It came back registered to, of course, Karen Elizabeth Thompson, purchased 18 months earlier. Mia finally spoke, voice trembling. "Then why does the air tag in the bag belong to my husband?" Silence. Karen's eyes snapped at me for half a second, just long enough for me to catch the flicker of panic. Yes, we had an air tag hidden inside. I'd placed it there the day I bought the suitcase, just being cautious. The officer made me open Find My. There was J&M's remover, pinging loudly inside that exact bag. Karen recovered instantly. They swapped the air tag, too. Professional thieves do that. The officer didn't look convinced, but he didn't release us either. He made a call. 10 minutes later, 2 plainclothes detectives entered and asked Karen to step out for a private statement. The atmosphere shifted. Through the door, we heard her voice rising, angrier, desperate. "You don't understand. I'll sue the whole airline." Then silence. 5 minutes passed. 10. 1 detective returned alone. He placed a velvet pouch with the bracelet on the table and locked eyes with Mia. "Mrs. Robinson, do you know what this bracelet fetches on the black market in Micus?" Mia shook her head, terrified. "Exactly what your husband Googled 2 nights ago at 2:14 a.m. from your hotel Wi-Fi." I felt the blood drain from my face because, yeah, I'd been drunk. Saw a similar bracelet in a boutique window, and jokingly Googled how much real diamonds cost in Micus while Mia slept. Never screenshot, never told a soul. The detective continued, leaning in close enough that I could smell his coffee breath. "Want to tell me why the woman accusing you of theft just tried to bribe me with 5,000 euros to a rescue boat? And why Atlanta airport security has footage of her switching luggage tags at 3 a.m. the night before your flight?" Mia and I stared at each other, mouths open, brains completely blue-screened. The detective smiled for the first time all day. Karen Elizabeth Thompson isn't just a Karen. She's wanted in 4 countries for insurance fraud, and you, my friends, just became her next $1 million payout. He slid the bracelet across the table, dropped his voice to a whisper, and said the words that still haunt me. But she didn't count on one tiny detail. Even she forgot it was inside that suitcase. In about 30 seconds, she's going to wish she never screamed at your wife. He didn't wait 30 seconds. 3. He pressed a button on his phone. The interrogation room speakers crackled to life with Karen's own voice, recorded 10 minutes earlier in the hallway. Just make the arrest. I'll wire the rest tonight. 10,000 more if you lose the American couple's passports for a week. My insurer pays out $1 million for theft. I've done it 6 times. Never lost. The color drained from her face the instant she heard herself. She bolted for the door, but 2 uniformed officers blocked it. Karen spun, mascara streaking, genuinely terrified for first time. You can't use that. I was joking. The detective laughed in her face. In Greece, we call it confession. Then he turned to us, voice softening. You 2 are free to go. Actually, you never weren't. We knew who she was the moment the serial number pinged Interpol. Mia finally found her voice. Then why the whole circus? He tapped the remover. He flipped it upside down, unscrewed the rose gold feet with a coin, something I'd never noticed had come off, and pulled out a thin false bottom. Inside, a vacuum-sealed brick, the size of a paperback white powder, enough to put someone away for 20 years. Karen lunged for it, screaming, "That's not mine!" but got tackled so fast her wig nearly flew off. The detective weighed the brick in his hand. 2 kilos of Colombian pure, street value about 180,000 euros. He explained, she's been using identical removers to mule for a cartel operating out of Atlanta airport lounges. Same model, same color, impossible to tell apart. She tags a clean one with the pink ribbon, switches at security, and lets some poor tourist carry the dirty one through customs. My legs gave out. I sank hard into the metal chair. He kept going. Your bag was the first she ever accidentally let slip through with her real name plate inside. She only realized when she saw Mia wheeling it in Santorini. Instead of cutting losses, she panicked and tried to get you arrested so the suitcase would be impounded and destroyed as evidence before we found the compartment. Mia shook with delayed rage. She was about to let us rot in a Greek prison for the rest of our lives. Worse, Greek drug laws. We'd still be here when our grandchildren retired. Karen was screaming incoherently now, dragged away in cuffs, leopard print blazer ripped at the seam. As the door slammed behind her, she managed one last banshee wail. They planted it. I'm the victim. The detective shrugged, handed me back our passports, and said, "Enjoy Micus on us. Complimentary first-class upgrade." Then he pointed at the real remover, sitting empty and pristine on the table. Maybe stick to backpacks from now on. We walked into the sunshine 20 minutes later like ghosts. The same crowd that had booed us now clapped. Someone shouted, "Up!" Another tourist handed Mia a shot of ouzo. A little kid gave her a flower. Mia downed the ouzo, tears in her eyes, and started laughing, hysterical, unstoppable, then sobs, then back to laughter. I pulled her close right there on the curb. Our honeymoon was ruined. Our honeymoon was saved. We were broke, traumatized, and alive. Somewhere in the distance, we could still hear Karen Elizabeth Thompson screaming all the way to the police van. We never saw that remover again. Greek authorities kept it as evidence. 6 months later, a package arrived at our Atlanta home. No return address. Inside, a brand new matte black remover, rose gold accents, identical to the one I bought Mia. Only one difference. Engraved on the inside lid, big and permanent. Property of M+J forever. Touch this bag, and Karen sends her regards from Cell Block 7. We still use it on every trip. Every time we roll it through an airport, I swear I hear the faintest echo of a leopard print scream. Some Karens don't just want to speak to the manager. Some Karens want the manager to smuggle cocaine. We got lucky. We got justice. And we got the best honeymoon story no one will ever believe. To this day, if anyone at the gate has a pink ribbon on their bag, we voluntarily check our carry-on. No questions asked. If you enjoyed this story, hit that subscribe button. Every single subscription motivates me to bring more insane, dramatic Karen stories. And don't forget the bell icon so you never miss a new upload. I'll see you in the next story, where justice gets even sweeter.